Hello. Welcome in, night dwellers. Come on in. You may notice a different mood tonight. It may look more gothic. That's because tonight is fiction night, and I am sharing my continuing saga of the Crimson Queen. Do you like vampires? Hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hello over there in YouTube land. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Tonight, I am sharing my creation, the Crimson Queen, the continuing saga of Ella Snow, and all the characters that you have come to love so much. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, JB Booker. How are you? Hey, Pamela. Let me go through. Hey, Charlene. Hey, Palm. Hey, XJ. Whoo, it's hot in here. Could be from what I wrote today. Hey, Bad Kitty Pop Tart. Hello, Jeff. Oh, thank you. Hey, Melanie. I know. No more missing your bits. Hello, Dawn. Oh, you're a vampire. Well, welcome. Hey, boss man. Hello, Glamour Fox. Oh, wonderful, Bad Kitty. Welcome in. Love seeing new names. Hey, Tara. How are you, darling? Hello, Pantera Terra. Hello, it's just me. Let's start sharing. Do you know that dark gothic fantasy is one of the top fiction sellers? Have you read Blood in the Snow, my first book? No? Well, you can watch that on YouTube. This is the continuation of The Crimson Queen. Hey, Kimmy. Hey, Miss Jester. Hey, Mary. Hey, my love. Hey, Cece. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Oh, what are you in for? Yes, there's going to be quite a different moods here. Lots of changes. Hey, Leslie Marie. Hello, Ray Bab. Hello, Tico. Hello, Siamese. Come on in. I'm going to get more into fiction. Fiction is what I love. Fiction is what I do. I write stories. We will still have our nights, paranormal, true crime, but I really want to get back into fiction as well. Hello, Delia. How are you? Hello, Ash Marie. Hello, Suppressions. Patricia. Everybody come in, make yourselves at home. I will not be standing tonight to show off a gown. Hey, Mia. Hey, Gracie. We're going to get started here in a few minutes. Hello, Martha. Hello, Rhonda. Start sharing the live with people that you know like dark fantasy, vampires, the just fantasy in general. This is something that they will absolutely love. Hello, Ash Marie. Thank you for sharing the live. Let's share with 5 friends, 10 friends, 15 friends. Hey, Beverly Bright. It's a different undertaking when you are reading your own work, so I'm really just staying very calm. Hello, Penny. Hello, Rose. I would highly suggest that you have a fan handy, and you might not need the blankets. Hello. Welcome to the Night Realm. I am the Night Queen, and tonight is fiction night for my night dwellers. You have been highly requesting the Crimson Queen. You fell in love with Blood in the Snow, and I get a message almost every day. When will bits continue? Tonight. But first, before we get into this vampire world of Blackstone, let's do our ritual, shall we? But in a different way. Lower your lights. You might want to lock your doors. Light a candle for ambiance. Pull your curtains nice and tight to wrap yourself in a warm cocoon as you listen to the Crimson Queen. No blankets tonight, night dwellers. It's going to be hot. But first, let me know I'm ready. Hello. My name is Ella Snow, and I am a vampire. I wasn't born this way. Once I was a young girl of 21, fragile, forgotten, living in the quiet corners of the world that never truly saw me. But fate had other plans. And on a dark, snowy night, I wrecked my car, and I ended up at Blackstone Manor. I was taken by him, Ian Blackstone, a creature carved from shadows and secrets. He asked me what my choice was, life or death. I chose death. He chose life, a life that I did not want or desire. He turned me, and through blood, through pain, through fire, I was reborn. I came to Blackstone Manor a frightened mortal girl, but I did not stay that way. I endured. I rose. I conquered. And now I wear the crown of midnight. I am not just the queen of Blackstone. I am queen of the damned, queen of the old blood, queen of every whispered oath, every forbidden desire, every shadow that crawls beneath your bed at night. My name is Ella Snow, but they call me the Crimson Queen. And now the story continues. Are you ready, night dwellers? The night had fallen in a tapestry of crimson and silver. Above Blackstone Castle, the full blood moon crowned the sky, a perfect unblinking witness to the union that it had blessed. The courtyard below was alive with the sound of the clans, banners snapping in the wind, tents glowing from within the golden firelight, and the deep laughter of warriors drunk on blood wine. The great ballroom glittered like a jewel in the heart of the fortress. The vaulted ceiling painted with constellations only vampires could name, shimmered with candlelight that spilled over hundreds of guests. Golden sconces lined the walls, and the floor beneath their feet was polished obsidian, so perfectly kept it reflected the dancers like a dark mirror. The air was perfumed with crushed roses, warmed spices, and the metallic hint of fresh poured wine. Ella stood in the center, in her gold gown, now the dress of a queen, hugging her form like a promise and flowing into a train that swept the floor. The coronation crown on her head was heavy, yet exquisite, rested on her head but her eyes. The queen's eyes were fixed on only one man, her husband, Ian Blackstone. Ian moved toward her through the crowd, every step deliberate, his gaze burning through the revelers between them. His dark hair fell just so, his mouth curving in a smile meant only for her. He took her hand, drawing her close as the music shifted into something slower, darker. The candlelight dimmed, the strings of the violin echoing in the high rafters. They danced. The queen and her king danced, and everybody watched them. In that moment, no one else existed. Not the boisterous laughter, not the clink of goblets, not even the weight of 100 stairs. There was only the brush of his thumb against her small hand, the way his eyes drank her in, as if memorizing every curve, every breath. When the song faded into the din of the hall, she leaned in, her voice a whisper meant only for him. I am going to my chambers now. His hand tightened at her waist. He knew. He bent low, lips brushing hers in a kiss that was slow and deliberate. the kind of kiss that set fire in her veins and left her unsteady to where she almost collapsed. She turned from the ballroom, gliding toward the grand staircase. She could feel his eyes on her. She turned and met his eyes. She could feel his gaze on her like a touch. The maids met her at the top, their hands gentle as they undid the fastenings of her gown, replacing it with the Shiraz black dressing gown, a creation, a fabric that gleamed in the candlelight like midnight silk. Her chambers were lit low, fire dancing in the hearth, shadows flickering against the stone. Nera, her friend, who had become her dearest friend, was there. The maids fussed and fidgeted with the buttons of the gown. Nera combed her hair out of the braid for the coronation, and now it was pale gold that hung to her waist in waves. It fell like a river. At that moment, Ella grabbed Nera's hand. I want to thank you. Thank you for being here for me. Of course, my sister. This is your night. Are you? Suddenly the door burst open. And there he was. Ian stood there. Her groom. Her king. Broad-shouldered. His dark suit still immaculate from the ceremony, but his eyes, his silver eyes, the signature of a Blackstone, were no longer the polite gaze of the ballroom. They were hungry. He stepped in. The maids blushed. He never failed to have that effect on the opposite sex. He looked at them. Leave us, he said, his voice deep and unyielding. The maids froze, glancing at Nera. Just one more moment, Ian, Nera said softly, and we will... No. Ian cut in, stepping further into the room. Now. Leave us. Now. The women lowered their heads and obeyed, slipping out with the rustle of skirts. The heavy wooden door clicking shut behind them. Ian crossed the room in long, confident strides. Ella's breath caught as he reached for her. The scent of him was cedar, smoke, and something darker surrounding her. The wedding night had begun. The door had barely closed before Ian's hands were on her. He didn't just walk toward her. He claimed the space between them in 3 long strides. His fingers already sliding along her jaw, tilting her face to his. His kiss was not gentle this time. It was deep, urgent, tasting of wine and hunger. She melted against him. She always had. She always would. Her palms pressed to his bare chest, feeling the hard beat of his heart beneath his fingertips. Her gown slid from her shoulders with a whisper, pulling on the floor like spilled ink. The sheer black fabric clung to her body, but it wasn't enough to hide the heat in her eyes. Ian's hands roamed down her sides, fingers brushing the curve of her hips, pulling her flush against him so she could feel every hard line of him. He lifted her easily, his strength effortless, and set her down on the edge of the bed. The black sheets were cool beneath her thighs, a sharp contrast to the heat of his body as he pushed the dressing gown open. He looked at her. There is not one part of you that I will not taste. There is not one part of you that my eyes will not linger on. You are my queen, and I worship you. His lips were everywhere then, tracing the delicate slope of her collarbone, dragging along the swell of her breast, tasting her skin like he was memorizing it. Ella's fingers tangled in his long dark hair, pulling him closer. His breath was ragged now, and when his mouth found hers again, it was almost desperate. They moved back onto the bed, the firelight throwing wild shadows on the walls as their bodies tangled, bare skin sliding against bare skin. She gasped when his hands gripped her thighs, spreading them slightly as he pressed his hips to hers, the friction sending a shockwave through her. The weight of him over her, the feel of his breath on her neck, made her head spin. They writhed together, tangled in silk and heat, every moment a dance between dominance and surrender. His hands traced her curves with a possessive reverence, while hers explored the hard lines of his shoulders, the muscles of his back, pulling him closer still. The scent of them, warm, skin, wine, smoke, filled the room, thick and intoxicating. Every kiss, every shift of his body against hers pushed them further into that sweet, breathless place where the world outside ceased to exist. The moans between them were quiet, drawn out, not from pain, no, from the unbearable pleasure of being exactly where they were, in each other's arms, lost to the night. The world outside their chamber could have burned to ash, and neither of them would have noticed. Ian's lips claimed hers again, slow and intoxicating, as if savoring each stolen breath between them. His hands traced her sides, her small waist, his fingers following the curve of her belly button, then gliding upward over silk until they found her bare skin again. Will I ever get enough of you? I hope not, she said. She could feel the steady pound of his heart against her chest, their bodies pressed together in perfect, fevered sync. His skin was warm beneath her palms, his touch sending waves of shivers and heat in equal measure. When he pulled back just enough to look into her eyes, she saw it, the desire, the devotion, the absolute claim. He breathed, as if her name alone could undo him. Their mouths met again, slower but not no less intense, each moment deliberate. His hand tangled in her pale hair, tilting her head so he could kiss the delicate line of her throat, her shoulder, the space just above her heart. The world beyond those walls no longer existed for this king and queen, this man and woman. There was only the crackle of the fire, the rustle of silk against skin, the heat radiating between them, and the unspoken vow of this night above all others that would never be forgotten. The afterglow came like the calm after a storm. The firelight flickered low, the sheets a tangle of silk and heat. Ella lay against Ian's chest, her ears pressed over the steady, unhurried thrum of his heart. She could hear the drums pounding beyond Blackstone Castle from the clan's tents. His fingers stroked lazy circles on her back, a touch that felt as eternal as their vows. From beyond the balcony doors, the crimson moon bathed the room in its otherworldly glow, painting their bare skin in shades of silver and scarlet. The banners outside whispered in the night breeze, but here there was only the soft sound of contentment. The moonlight cast shadow on Ella's silver scars, the very scars from Aiden's whip. Ian looked at them now. His fingertips softly grazed them. When I think of him hurting you, I would kill him again. But he's not here. Not now. He began to kiss each of the scars tenderly, reverently. Tonight, we made something the clans will whisper about for centuries, my love. She smiled sleepily, her lips brushing his as she answered, "Let them whisper. You're mine, and I'm yours." He kissed her once more, slow and lingering, and together they let the night carry them into the dreamless rest only vampires can know, wrapped around each other like a single unbroken vow. The crimson moon hung low beyond the frost-touched windows, its glow spilling through the latticework and bathing the room in blood-red light. Snow fell in a hushed, steady drift, cloaking the distant turrets of Blackstone Castle in pale white. Inside the red room was a sanctuary of velvet and shadow, walls draped in heavy crimson fabric. the ceiling high and domed, gold filigree curling the frozen vines along its arches. A great fire roared in the marble hearth, its light dancing across gilded mirrors and the dark gleam of antique furniture. On the chaise lounge near the window sat Lilibet Blackstone, ethereal, steel, and cold as carved marble. Her long black hair spilled like midnight ink over the armrest, her alabaster skin luminous in the glow of fire and moon. The silver-gray eyes of the Blackstone bloodline reflected the snowfall beyond, but they were clouded, troubled. Miss Adelbaum worked quietly across the room, her hands deft as she unpacked trunks lined with silk. Jewelry cases were opened, gowns of midnight lace and garnet satin unfurled, shoes polished, hats brushed. She moved with the careful reverence of someone who had tended to this family for more lifetimes than any mortal could count. Though not a vampire herself, Seraphina's spell had granted her eternal life, an eternity she gladly had given to protect Lilibet. She felt a closeness to her since the first moment that she laid eyes on the girl. Her gaze flicked toward the chaise, and she paused. She could tell when Lilibet did not want to be bothered, and this was one of those times, but she had to know. "What is bothering you, child?" she asked softly, her voice the kind of warm firmness one might use with a daughter. Lilibet's eyes didn't move from the window. "I saw him," she murmured. Miss Adelbaum's brows drew together. "Him?" Her jaw tightened. She looked at Miss Adelbaum as if she was a disease. "Maylor Vane, at the coronation ball tonight, in the arms of that witch." The last word was spit out like venom. "Oh, you mean Nira," Miss Adelbaum said carefully, as if the name itself might ignite her charge's temper. Lilibet's lips curved into something sharp. "I have always despised her. That golden skin, that ridiculous glow about her. She flaunts her magic as if it makes her worthy of him." She finally looked at Miss Adelbaum, her silver eyes flashing like steel in moonlight. "Tell me, how long have they been together?" The older woman hesitated, only a heartbeat before answering. "Well, since Ella was taken by Lord Bolton, and he had brought her home, may Lord Nira found a bond in that time." The words were like ice water poured into Lilibet's veins. She rose from her chaise, her movements smooth and deliberate. "A bond." The word was a snarl. "While I was gone? She cut herself off, pacing toward the fire as her black gown whispered across the thick rugs. Miss Adelbaum straightened from her work. "Where have you been, Miss Lilibet, this time?" "Egypt," she replied, chin lifting. "Egypt? What for? It was decadent. Among the ruins of kings, in the sands older than even the black stones. But that hardly matters now. Her gaze returned to the window, narrowing. I thought, no, I knew. When I returned, he would be mine again. Miss Adelbaum lowered her gaze. Lilibet was such a spoiled child. She had never heard the word no. If she wanted something, she got it. I thought he would be mine again. The caretaker's expression softened with pity. You cannot vanish for so long, child, and expect to return to waiting arms. Arms can be filled just as easily as they can be emptied. Lilibet turned on her so fast that the air between them seemed to shiver. How dare you? The words were quiet, lethal. The firelight caught the angles of her face, casting her beauty in dangerous light. Without another word, she strode toward the wardrobe. Bring me my black velvet cape. Miss Adelbaum hesitated. Lilibet, now. Do as I ordered, Miss Adelbaum. Miss Adelbaum hesitated again, but then she fetched it, draping it over her arm. But as Lilibet reached for it, she caught her wrist. Please, Lilibet, she whispered. Don't do something you will regret, child. Lilibet's eyes narrowed, flashing silver like drawn blades. Regret is for mortals. She tore her arm free, sweeping the cape over her shoulders. The door burst open under her hand, the hallway beyond swallowed in shadow. She descended the spiral staircase without a backward glance, the echo of her steps like the ticking of a clock, counting down to disaster. Whether she sought Maylor or Nira first, Miss Adelbaum only knew. But one thing was for sure. Tonight would end in confrontation. The wind was sharp and restless at the highest turret of Blackstone Castle, tearing through the pennants that crowned its spires and carrying the scent of snow and burning cedar from the fires below. Nira, the witch, stood alone at the turret's edge, her bare feet pressed to the cold stone as if drawing strength from it. She preferred the earth, always, the direct pulse of light beneath her skin, but tonight she accepted the stone. It was the closest that she could come to the sky. The crimson moon loomed above, swollen and heavy with red light, bathing her skin in a ghostly scarlet glow. Her hair, a deep tumble of blonde, threaded with strands of red that caught in the wild glimmers, lifted in the wind like a living thing. Her gown was the color of midnight, thin and loose, rippling against her long frame as though she and it shared her breathing. Around her wrist and bare collarbone, delicate silver charms caught the moonlight. Wards and seagulls she never fully explained, even to her queen, Ella. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the night press against her face. This had been her first moment of stillness since the coronation feast. The ballroom had been riotous with blood wine and clashing clan songs, the air thick with the musk of vampires flushed from the hunt and the celebration. She had stood at Ella's side, watching her ascend to Crimson Queen, watching Ian claim her as his wife. Then, when the king's hunger had sharpened and the ladies were dismissed, Nera had been among those ushered from the bridal chambers, the heavy door shutting behind them like the closing of a vault. Her thoughts had just begun to settle, to still, when the wind shifted, curling around her like a living hand. A scent rode its current, delicate at first, then undeniable. Nera's blue eyes snapped open. Velvet, nightshade, and something colder. A shadow, like the echo of snow falling in a graveyard. What was that? And then her eyes zeroed in. She knew who it was. Lilibet. Nera's gaze swept the shadowed sprawl below. Behind the hard walls and down across the snow-blanketed courtyard, she saw her figure, tall, lithe, move like a streak of shadow. The black cape trailed behind her, heavy with purpose, her silver gray eyes catching the torchlight for an instant as she passed. She was headed for the tents. Nera's jaw tightened. She knew whose tent she was headed for. Maelor Vane. Her fingers curled against the stone. She'd heard the whispers, seen the glances exchanged between him and Lilibet when the clans first arrived for the wedding. But it was in the coronation hall, when Lilibet's gaze had locked on her from across the dance floor, that Nera had felt the full weight of it, the dislike that ran bone deep. And one thing was for sure, the feeling was mutual. Lilibet was everything that Nera mistrusted and hated. Beauty turned to a weapon, power leveraged for personal gain, silver eyes that could promise devotion in one breath and deliver betrayal in the next. She knew it well. Ian's sister had the same arrogance as her late brother Aiden, another snake who had worn his charm like a mask. Nera had seen through him, and she saw through Lilibet Blackstone too. She didn't often use her deeper gifts. Her magic was vast. Nera was ancient, but she guarded it. She kept it close. The one might guard a rare and dangerous blade. But tonight, as she watched that cape vanish between the tents, something in her stirred. Slowly, she lifted her hands to either side of her face, the charms of her wrist chiming softly against the wind. She closed her eyes, steadying her breath, and let the magic seep outward like a tide. The sound came first, not to her ears, but to her bones. She could hear the shuffle of boots in the snow, the brushing of a cape's hem across the frozen ground, the deep thrum of a heartbeat, sharp and steady, despite the cold. She turned her focus like a lantern, following the sound, until the murmur of voices began to form. They were distant, still, distorted by space, but Nira's magic sharpened them until each word would fall clear into her mind. She knew where Lilibet was going. She knew what she wanted. And though the wind whipped at her hair and the crimson moon bled across her skin, Nira remained perfectly still. An ancient centennial in the highest reach of Blackstone Castle, listening for the first words of a conversation she suspected would not go well. And beneath it all, one question gnawed at her, the same that might have troubled any who knew these two women. Why did they despise each other so much? The northern camp lay hushed now, its earlier roar of drinking and songs fading to the soft hush of the snow. The vampires of the north had slunk back into their tents, collapsing into silk-lined coffins with the contented signs of predators drunk on blood and celebration. The wind moved among the banners, stirring them into slow, drowsy ripples in shades of ice blue and sapphire. Maelor Vane stood alone before the largest tent, its canvas dyed the pale blue of glacial ice to match his eyes. The crest of the northern clan stitched in silver thread across the entrance. He was still in his ceremonial black, the silver trim gleaming faintly in the crimson moonlight. His hair, a spill of silver-white silk, hung loose to his waist, lifting at the ends with each gust. He was not drunk, not like the rest of his clan was. You see, Maelor Vane rarely indulged. His icy gaze was fixed on the moon, though his thoughts roamed elsewhere, backward, through centuries of alliances and betrayals, forward into futures yet to be chosen. He could see deep into the future. Everything. The night had been long, too long. He stretched. The wind shifted. A scent slid across it like the faintest trace of perfume, delicate but unmistakable. Velvet, nightshade, and something sharper, like frost over a blade. His eyes widened. He sniffed the air. Maelor's jaw tightened, his lips curving into the barest suggestion of a smile. Not warm, not welcoming, sardonic, as though the universe had just confirmed a suspicion he would have preferred to ignore. He did not turn. He did not need to. She was there. A voice smooth and sharp as broken glass cut through the quiet. Well, I am gone for 1 century, and I come back expecting to find you waiting for me. Instead, I find you with a house witch in your arms. Above, on the highest turret, Nira's eyes narrowed. The words carried to her as though whispered directly into her ear. Her magic spinning them through the air with perfect clarity. Maelor gave a low chuckle, the sound more frost than mirth. He did not immediately face her. He said, his tone like a blade sliding free from a sheath. Lilibet. The irritation in her inhale was audible. Look at me, she commanded. For a heartbeat, he did not move, forcing the silence to stretch until it was taut as a wire. Then with deliberate slowness, creeping slowness, Maelor turned. His pale eyes, almost white in the moonlight, swept over her. Lilibet Blackstone stood just beyond the glow of the torchlight, wrapped in a cape of black velvet, her silver-gray eyes gleaming with anger. The snow seemed not to touch her, each flake veering away as though afraid to mar her perfection. She was beautiful, always had been. You return, Maelor said coolly, and imagine that the world has been on pause in your absence, as though a century were but a moment, as though I am yours to keep or wait for. Her lips curved, though her eyes remained hard. You were mine, and now I find you tangled in the skirts of Ella's pet witch. How dare you embarrass me like that? Something flickered in Maelor's gaze. Not quite amusement, not quite warning. Nira, he said evenly, but with a hint of danger, is not tangled in anything that does not suit her. And she is not mine, not yours, not anyone's. She is different. Different. Lilibet stepped closer, the cape whispering over the snow. That's what you call her? That's what she is, Maelor said, his tone sharpened. She is not you, Lilibet, and that is precisely the point. The flare in Lilibet's eyes was molten. You discard centuries with me for a witch that you barely even know. And not even a ancient powerful witch, a grass witch. I did not know you steeped so low, Maelor Vane. Maelor's lips twitched. I discard centuries for peace from your temper and your arrogance. Above, Nira's mouth curved in the faintest, coldest smile. Lilibet's voice dropped to a dangerous purr. Careful, Maelor. I didn't come back to be dismissed. And yet, he said, stepping forward into her space, his height casting her in his shadow. Dismissal may be the kindest thing I offer you tonight. Leave. For a moment, the air between them felt like a frozen lake, the slightest step threatening to shatter it into something deadly. Then Maelor's gaze lifted briefly past her shoulder toward the distant spires of Blackstone Castle. His eyes narrowed, as if sensing the faint brush of magic on the air. He saw her up on the highest turret, his witch. Nera stilled, waiting to see what was going to happen. The silence between them was already sharp, but when Lilibet moved, it was like a serpent striking. Her pale hand flashed forward and caught Maelor's wrist in a grip far stronger than her delicate frame suggested she would have. The black velvet of her sleeve brushed against the cold steel of his gauntlet. And for the first time since her arrival, his eyes snapped fully to hers. "Do not turn from me," she hissed, her voice losing its cultured smoothness and taking on a darker, almost feral edge. "Maelor, you don't want that witch." She took her hand and ran it up his chest. "You want me. You have always wanted me." The crimson moonlight carved every angle of her face into something almost too perfect to look at. She stepped closer, her scent intoxicating, dark roses and winter rain rising around him. She lowered her hand on his leg. "You still desire me," she murmured, her voice low and dangerous. "Think about the nights we had. Think about what we were, what we are." Above from the turret, Nera's breath caught, not from cold, but from the sharp, unwelcome stab in her chest. Before Maelor could reply, Lilibet closed the space between them and threw herself into his arms, her mouth capturing his in a kiss that was not a question, but a claim. Her lips were cold silk, her fingers curling against the nape of his neck, drawing him down into her. Maelor's first instinct, cursed though he was to respond. Memory stirred in him like embers flaring under a breath of wind. The taste of her, the feel of her, the power of her, the centuries when she had indeed been the one that he turned to and longed for. He did not care for her once. He loved her once, perhaps more than he had ever admitted aloud. He returned the kiss, his mouth pressing harder against hers. His hand slid to her back, pulling her closer. Her body molded to his, every line of her form pressed into his. Her breath quickened and his own pulse, if such a thing could be called that in art of a vampire, pounded in his ears. On the turret, Nera's hand curled into fist against the cold stone. She could see it. She could hear it, almost feel it through her magic, and every moment of it sent hot anger coursing through her veins. Lilibet pressed harder into him, the velvet of her gown whispering against his coat. He buried his hands in her hair and inhaled her intoxicating scent, her breast full and heavy against his chest. "This," she whispered between their kisses, "is what you want." For the briefest, most dangerous moment, Maelor almost believed it. And then, like ice snapping in a thaw, he came to his senses. His grip shifted, no longer pulling her close, but pushing her away. The sudden force broke their kiss and sent her stumbling backward, her cape swirling like a living thing. Her heels caught in the snow, and she went down, landing hard enough to jar the breath from her. She looked around in a panic to see if anyone else had seen it. Lilibet stared up at him, her silver gray eyes blazing with disbelief and fury. Maelor stood over her, his expression cold as the northern ice from which he came. "Help me up, you fool!" "Do not come to my tents again, Lilibet," he said, each word clipped and merciless. "I do not wish to have any part of you." The insult was a blade between her ribs. No one had ever denied her, and if they did, they paid the consequences dearly. Had he just told her he did not wish to be any part of her? For a moment, neither of them moved. Lilibet, half risen from the snow, her lips were parted, not from shock, but from the thing she wanted to spit back at him. Maelor towered above her, his gaze unflinching. And above, Neera's magic crackled faintly in the air, her eyes fixed on them both, knowing that this was far from over. She turned off her thoughts. She could hear no more. Lilibet challenged Maelor. "Very well. You have made your choice. A choice that I don't believe you know what you've done. I will warn you. Do not touch Neera." "I'll leave you to your witch, Maelor Vane." Lilibet turned to the eastern wind. Her cape billowed about her. Her nails bit down into her palms till she drew blood, and the blood fell into the snow. Let's take an intermission. And when we come back, I will read the next half of this chapter, The Crimson Queen. Go ahead, grab a snack, a drink, whatever you prefer, chocolate, and I will be right back. And post in the comments, what do you think of The Crimson Queen so far? it's hot in here. Turn that fan on just a little bit. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Thank you to those who have followed tonight. Rare E Virgo, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Do you like scary stories? Oh, so glad. So glad. Thank you for the subscriptions tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for, oh, a limited edition sticker wave. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the new subscribers. I am doing good, Becky. How are you? Hey, Marine's daughter. How are you, darling? Wendy, thank you. Chino, thank you. Bacon, thank you. Cece, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it, Delia. I am doing well. So just so you know, even though I am writing the book, I am writing in real time too. So if you see me hesitate, it's because I've decided to change a scene or there's something else I want to do. So just kind of go with it. But I feel like it is going in a very good direction for me tonight. Yes, energy vampires, leave. You are not welcome here. This is a warm, safe, loving, welcoming environment. There is no judgment here. I want you to come in for the next couple of hours and just enjoy yourself. I want this to be something that at the end of the day, you're like, oh, what a day. But wait, I have Twisted Tales Live tonight. Oh, I can make it. That's what I want you to feel like when you think about Twisted Tales Live. Crimson Queen, the saga continues. You can read the first, you can watch the first, thank you for that beautiful manifestation bowl, Amy. That is one of my favorites. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you. Thank you for the galaxy, Ginger Moon. Thank you so much. I tell you, the way that Blood in the Snow and now Crimson Queen have came to life is absolutely amazing. I always wanted to write a vampire series, and the way that it became Blood in the Snow was quite a story, which I will share at some point, which I did on One Live. Thank you so much, Amy and Ginger. Thank you. So glad you like them, Ginger Moore. I want to be a good part of your day, a good part of your night. What do you think of Lilibet, Malor, Nira, Ella, Ian, Miss Saddlebum? Hey, Legend. You can always catch up on it. Hey, Larry Burrow. Wonderful. So happy to hear that. We're going to start in 2 minutes. So I would just come back in. Are you getting your feel of bits, Melanie? And then join me on Monday night where I'm going to be starting a new series. I did share certain parts. Thank you, Martha, for the galaxy. Thank you. Thank you. Monday night, I am going to be sharing another work of fiction. I have shared a bit of it, and I have had requests for it here lately. Bring it back. So here it comes. Cherry Hill. You don't want to miss this story. If you are coming in and you are positive, you are welcome. If you come in and you're a neggy, bye-bye. My night watchers are watching you. Angie, thank you for the beautiful roses. Thank you so, so much. Energy vampires, Rhonda. They are the people that come into your life and suck the very life out of it. We don't allow them here. I don't allow them in any part of my life, in fact. So, toodaloo. You want Ian for yourself? Many women are in love with Ian Blackstone. I would highly suggest, if you want to catch up before next Thursday night, that you go in and read, well, not read, but watch the lives where I tell the beginning of Blood in the Snow. Send them to the train station kind of day. Hey, Alabama, how are you? Absolutely. That is one thing to do. Thank you, Ray Ray. Thank you. I do love red. I love it. All right. Shall we continue? I am a very positive person. I feel that there is no reason to be anything but happy. And don't let anyone steal your joy. Even you nasty people that come in. Go. Shoo. All right. You are a dark queen. Hello, Wolfman. Let's hope that you have your snacks ready. Oh, thank you, Ginger Moon. I love the whale. So pretty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get back into story time. Just let me know when all of you are ready and back in. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you so, so much. Oh, thank you for the crown. I absolutely love it and adore it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you for telling me, X. I don't know what I would do without y'all. Let me do that real quick. Hold on one moment. Just think, you are hearing the story firsthand. You are watching creation happen. I guess I truly am a creator. live, right? So here we go. But first, let's get back into the mood. Perhaps you went out and walked your puppy dog or what have you. Let's get back into the mood, shall we? Lower your lights. No locking doors tonight. Light that candle if you haven't already. Pull your curtains nice and tight to just block out the world around you. Wrap a blanket if you prefer. You might get some chills from Lilibet, but you might want a fan for the rest. And let's continue with the Crimson Queen. The saga continues. There will be no lights dimming as tonight is fiction night and I am reading my story, my book. The wind wrapped itself around Nira like a living ribbon as she stepped away from the turret's edge. And then, without hesitation, she fell. The crimson moon spun above her as her body dipped, the air tearing past her skin, whipping her blonde hair around her face. Just before the courtyard stones could rush up to meet her, she let the magic flow through her bones and twisted midair, her bare feet touching the highest branch of the ancient canopy tree that spread its limbs across the northern side of Blackstone's grounds and gave her a clear view of Maelor's tent. The branch creaked faintly beneath her, but it held. It had held for centuries. Her chest rose and fell too quickly, an unfamiliar human-like reaction that she loathed to acknowledge. Her heart was pounding, and she hated that too. She had never let anyone get into her blood the way that Maelor Vane did. She swore that she would never let it happen again, not after what occurred all those centuries ago. Not even Ian, not even one of the others who had tried. Maelor was something else, something she could not name without feeling foolish. And yet, she had seen his lips on Lilibet's. She had seen his arms around her, had felt his desire quicken his loins. Yes, he pushed Lilibet away in the end, but that didn't erase the fact that he had kissed her back. Nira's mind gnawed at that truth like a wolf on bone, each thought bitterer than the last. She wondered, when she did return to him, would he be able to push Lilibet away the next time? She was seconds from banishing the thought, locking it deep in that mental vault she rarely opened, when movement caught her eye. Lilibet. She was walking toward the manor, and then suddenly switched and walked back toward the tent. She had to hear. She had to hear. Lilibet Blackstone stalked back through the snow, her boots crunching beneath, the white clinging to her black velvet cape in stark contrast, brushing it off with slow, deliberate motions. There was no grace in it now, just venom in every movement. Her silver gray eyes burned like molten steel in the moonlight. Her voice, when it came, was a razor's edge. All those nights, I thought of you in Egypt, in Spain, in whatever part of the world that I was in. I thought of you. I thought that you would be waiting for me. I promise you now, beneath this cursed crimson moon, you will regret what you have done, Maelor Vane. She spat, the snowflakes melting into the heat of her fury. Her lips curved into something that was almost a smile, but not quite. It was the smile of someone imagining the exact shape of revenge. Nira stilled completely, listening, the bark cold beneath her fingers. And so will your witch, Lilibet added, her voice dropping lower, each syllable sharpened to a threat. The words carried across cold expanse like a curse. Maelor did not flinch. His expression remained cool, infuriating mask of detachment that only the very ancient could wear. No, he said evenly, his icy blue eyes fixed on her. I won't. Lilibet's head tilted, the snow catching in her dark hair like tiny diamonds. Oh, you will. You will. It wasn't an argument. It was a promise. Nira's nails dug into the branch's bark. She felt the air shift between them, saw the subtle way Maelor's jaw tightened, though his voice stayed even. I will warn you once more. Leave, Lilibet, he said finally, the words carrying a finality that would have ended most confrontations. But Lilibet Blackstone was not most. Her gaze slid over him slowly, deliberately, as if memorizing him for whatever plans were already forming in that twisted, dark mind of hers. For the first time, Maelor looked at Lilibet, and he did not see beauty. He saw a conniving, twisted snake. Then she turned sharply, her cape swirling like a shadow untethered from its body, and began to stride across the snow. Nira's eyes followed her until she vanished in the darkness beyond the tents, and still her pulse refused to slow. In that quiet that followed, she looked back at Maelor. He had turned away from the encounter, his gaze once more lifted to the blood-red moon, as if Lilibet's storm had not left a single mark. But Nira knew better. From her perch, Nira studied him. The snow swirled in slow spirals around Maelor Vane, catching in his silver hair, the strands like frozen rivers under the crimson light. He stood motionless, his long coat falling straight to the ground, the fur-lined collar dark against his pale throat. He looked untouched, unbothered. But Nira knew the kind of restraint was never real. It was armor, and armor always hid something. Her toes curled into the cold bark beneath her feet. She could feel the pull of him, The urge to leap down from this branch, to cross the snow and stand in front of him, to demand what that kiss meant. Her breath fogged in the frigid air. She could hear his heartbeat if she let her magic stretch toward him. Steady, deliberate, infuriatingly calm. No spike of guilt, no gift, no shift in rhythm. Did it mean nothing to him? Her hands tightened on the branch. The wind shifted again, bringing with it the fading scent of Lilibet's perfume, violet and blood, and she felt her claw clench. She hated that scent, hated it for what it represented, and for what it had touched tonight. Maelor moved then, just slightly, not toward her, but away from the tents. His gaze still tilted toward the heavens, as though the crimson moon might answer questions mortals and immortals alike have been asking for centuries. Nira's lips parted. All she had to do was drop from this branch, land in the snow, and speak his name. She could watch his eyes turn toward her, see what flickered there in the silence. The choice sat in her mouth like a stone. If she went to him now, she would show him far too much. She would show him that she cared too much. The snow fell heavier now, blanketing the grounds in a muffling hush. Her heart pounded once, twice, 3 times, and still she did not move. She stayed in the shadow of the ancient tree, watching him until he disappeared into the white. Her breath caught somewhere between longing and restraint. The decision was made for tonight. She would be quiet, but tomorrow, she would not stay in the branches. The snow hissed under Lilibet's boots as she stalked away from the tents, her cape whipping in the wind like a slash of shadow against the white. Her silver gray eyes burned under the crimson moon, not with sadness, not with loss, but with the venomous heat of hatred. Oh yes, she hated them all. Ella Snow, the little mortal turned vampire who had somehow wormed her way into the crown. How had she managed to do that? Ian, her arrogant, brooding brother who dared to make that creature his queen. Oh no, wait. She chose queen for herself. She couldn't wait to knock her down from her throne. Nira, the pale-faced witch, whose very presence felt like an insult. Maelor Vane. Oh, how she despised him now, for kissing her and then shoving her away like she was nothing. And her mother, Seraphina, the root of everything. The reason Lilibet was what she was. The reason she had this endless hunger and this endless rage. Her lips curled into a smile that had no joy in it, just fangs. The only person in the world she spared from what was her fury was Miss Adelbaum. And even that mercy was purely selfish. Adelbaum was useful and nothing more, loyal in her way, and Lilibet would not throw away a servant who still served her well. However, if she did cross her, she would rid herself of her. But the rest, she would see them all rot. She would tear down their pretty black stone castles stone by stone, drag them from their silk-covered beds, and bleed them until the snow turned red. Her nails bit into her palms again as she descended the slope toward the stables. She could almost taste their screams already. She flung the stable doors wide, startling the horses into frantic whinnies. In moments, she had her hand on the bridle of the fastest black steed, Demon. It reared, eyes rolling, sensing the malice that radiated from her. She only laughed, a cold sound that made the stable boy vanish into the shadows. She mounted in one smooth motion, no saddle, no hesitation. Her hair whipped loose in the wind as she dug her heels into the horse's sides, and it bolted into the night. The moonlit road ahead led to a sleeping village, and in that village was a girl who would never see the sunrise. The wind howled through the barren trees, flinging icy needles of snow against Lilibet's face as she thundered down the frozen road. The black steed's hooves struck like war drums, scattering slush and ice. She leaned low over the animal's neck, her cape snapping behind her, eyes fixed on the dim glow of lanterns ahead. She lit from the horse and began to fly. The village was quiet. Most of its inhabitants were already deep in winter's slumber. The only sounds were the creak of snow-laden roofs, the faint rush of the frozen stream, and the thunder of the wind as it carried Lilibet. Her eyes narrowed when she spotted her prey. She began her descent into the trees. And there she was, a young girl, barely 16, trudging home from the communal well with a bucket in each hand. Her breath clouded in the air, a thin blue scarf wrapped around her neck, boots crunching in the snow. She was alone. Lilibet's eyes turned silver. Boots crunching in the snow. The girl was vulnerable. There was no one around her. Lilibet slowly lowered herself from the branch and stepped into the deep powder of the white snow. She dismounted the lamb without a sound, the dark folds of her cloak swallowing her into shadow. The girl startled when she saw the tall figure emerge from between the frostbitten pines. "Oh, you frightened me, my lady," the girl said softly, shifting the heavy buckets. Lilibet softened her voice as best as she could. Her rage was at a crescendo, letting it drip like warm honey. She stepped out into the moonlight. The girl saw her regal bearing, her gown, her cape, her small tiara on her head. Poor thing. You're trembling. Out here all alone at such a late hour. Yes, it's late, and my brother has a fever, and my mother wanted me to fetch some cold water. I need to get back. Nonsense, Lilibet purred, stepping closer, her boots making no sound now. Why? Because she was gliding. Let me help you. I'll carry one for you. The girl's eyes flicked to Lilibet's pale hands, her strange silver eyes. but she nodded timidly, letting Lilibet take one bucket. They walked together for a few steps, the snow crunching softly. Then, without warning, Lilibet stopped. The girl stopped too, and saw that smile, that terrible, cold smile. You have such a warm pulse, Lilibet murmured, her fangs protruding. I can hear it. I can feel it. Don't think of running. I'll catch you. The girl dropped her bucket, the water splashing to the ground, backing away. Oh, what are you? Lilibet's laugh was low and cruel. Something your mother should have warned you about. You should have went and got the water in the daylight. Don't you know monsters prowl in the shadows? She moved like a shadow. One moment, several feet away, and the next her hand was in the girl's hair, yanking her forward and up into the air. The girl screamed, the sound smothered by the snow and the trees. Lilibet pulled her in, nose brushing the girl's throat. Shh. It will only hurt forever. Her fangs sank in sharp as twin daggers. The girl's body jerked, the buckets toppling, spilling icy water into the snow. Lilibet drank slowly, savoring the heat of the blood against the cold night, feeling the girl's heartbeat shudder and falter underneath her lips. The girl's hands clawed weakly at her shoulders, but Lilibet didn't stop. The snow beneath them turned crimson, steaming in the frigid air. Lilibet rose higher into the air with the girl. When the last drop slid down her throat, Lilibet let the body fall like a ragged, limp doll to the ground below. She hovered midair, looked down at the pale face, the open, frozen eyes. She crouched as she lowered herself to the ground, brushing the girl's hair from her face, almost tenderly. Consider yourself fortunate, she whispered. You died in the arms of a future queen. She rose, her lips glistening dark, her eyes burning silver. Without a backward glance, she mounted her steed and rode off into the night, leaving a trail of hoofprints and blood in the snow. The great black steed tore through the winter night, its nostrils steaming, its hooves pounding over frozen earth. Lilibet's cape snapped behind her like the wings of a raven in full flight. The scent of the dead girl's blood still clung to her lips, rich and metallic, and it only fueled her rage. The wind bit at her face, but she didn't feel it. All she felt was the cold, venomous hatred that coiled inside her chest like a serpent. Ella Snow, Ian Blackstone, Maylor Vane, Nera the Witch, and her mother, the one who had favored Ian over her time and time again. They were all threads in the same tapestry, and she would set it ablaze. As the looming silhouette of Blackstone Castle came into view, its towers like jagged claws scraping at the crimson sky, Lilibet's lips curved into a thin, cruel smile. Her horse's hooves struck the cobblestones of the courtyard, the sound echoing off the cold stone walls. A few of the night guards looked her way, but one glance from her, those molten silvered eyes narrowing with dangerous promise, made them avert their gaze. No one wanted to be the focus of Lilibet Blackstone's attention. She swung down from the saddle, her boots crunching against the frost, and handed the reins to a stable hand with a grip so cold and tight that the boy flinched. This is my steed now. Rub him. Feed him. If he is not in perfection come morning, you'll be wearing your own entrails like a scarf. The boy paled and nodded quickly. Lilibet swept into the castle's lower halls, her heels clicking against the black marble. Servants scattered into shadows at her approach. The heavy scent of blood wine and smoke from the celebration still lingered, but she didn't stop to indulge. Miss Adelbaum was waiting in the tower chambers, her hands clasped in that soft, fretful way of hers. The firelight in the room painted her in golden shadow. "My lady, you've been gone for hours now," she said low. "Where?" "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to, Miss Adelbaum," Lilibet said sharply, sweeping past her. She removed her gloves slowly, deliberately, each finger slipping free like a snake shedding skin. Miss Adelbaum's eyes flicked to the smear of crimson near the corner of Lilibet's mouth. She had did it again. Another villager, no doubt. But she didn't comment. She never did. They just cleaned up her mess. Instead, she said gently, "If you keep feeding that anger, child, you're going to drown in it one day." Lilibet turned, her expression a mix of mockery and eyes. "Drown? Oh, my dear, Miss Adelbaum, I'm not drowning. I'm the tide." Her gaze shifted to the windows where the crimson moon still hung heavy over the castle. She lifted her chin slightly as if addressing it directly. "They think they're all safe because tonight is about celebration. They forget how quickly joy turns to grief. But I will remind them." Her voice was smooth, almost serene, but every syllable was laced with venom. The soft embers in the great stone hearth painted the bridal chamber in a golden glow, shadows swaying gently across the velvet canopy of the bed. Outside, the crimson moon was sinking toward the snow-draped horizon, but within, time seemed to hold its breath. Ian stirred first, his arms strong and warm, tightened around Ella's tiny waist as though, even in sleep, he feared she might slip away from him again. His breath was warm against the curve of her neck. She felt the faintest graze of his lips at her shoulder, not deliberate, more instinct than thought, and her lashes fluttered open. For a long moment she simply lay there, listening to the quiet rise and fall of his breathing, feeling the steady beat of his heart through the solid wall of his chest. The scent of him, clean, cool, tinged with the faint metallic note of a vampire's nature, surrounded her. "Good evening, my queen," Ian murmured against her skin, his voice low and unhurried, the words threading through her like silk. Ella smiled, her lips curving in the half-light. "You're awake." "I never truly sleep when you're near," he said, his hand sliding from her waist to rest against her ribs, his thumb tracing slow, languid circles over the silk of her shift. "I would miss you too much." He rolled toward her, and their eyes met, his deep, dark gaze pulling her into a place where nothing existed but the two of them. He brushed a strand of her hair away, letting his fingertip linger along the line of her jaw before he kissed her, slow and deliberate, as if they had all the time in the world. "We should get to our coffins now." Ella melted into him, her hand curling in his hair at the nape of his neck, drawing him closer. The kiss deepened, unhurried but potent, the kind that stole her breath without force, only with an inevitability of gravity. Ian eased her onto her back, the mattress dipping beneath its weight. The fall of his hair framed their faces in a cave of darkness, the strands brushing against her cheek as he traced kisses along her throat. Her fingers skimmed over his bare shoulders, tracing the corded string beneath his skin. They began to move together, as though they were a single thought, slow, aching with tenderness, but laced with a hunger that built gradually, like the heat from the hearth creeping into the cold corners of the room. His lips found hers again, and his hand slid down her side, memorizing the curve of her beautiful hip. She arched toward him, her breath catching when his mouth grazed the hollow just below her ear, his fangs resting there for a lingering moment before retreating. Tonight, there was no urgency, no battles to be fought, no courts or crowns, only them. When they joined, it was with deliberate slowness, each movement a wordless vow, a reaffirmation of the bond that had begun the night he turned her. Her hands roamed over his back, feeling the ripple of muscle as they moved together. He whispered her name like a prayer against his lips, his forehead resting on hers, his eyes open and locked on her face as if he could memorize every fleeting expression. She cupped his cheek, her thumb brushing the faint scar near his jaw, a remnant of a battle long ago before she knew him, and kissed him again, deeply, holding him there. Their rhythm stayed languid, savoring each moment, as though the night itself might be coaxed into never-ending. In that cocoon of heat and breath and tangled limbs, the world outside ceased to exist. When the last shiver of their joining faded, Ian remained above her for a moment longer, their noses touching, their breaths mingling. Then he shifted to lie beside her, pulling her into his arms, his lips pressing to her wet temple. You are my everything. And you are mine, my king. They lay together in the afterglow, the fire crackling softly, their fingers intertwined. Neither knew nor could imagine that at that very moment, the venom being sharpened in the dark by one who would see their happiness turn to ash, was smiling up at their tower. We will end there for tonight. And we will continue next Thursday. Thursday night will be Crimson Queen night. So glad that you liked it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for sharing in the creation of this world that that has just came to fruition and just continues to build and continues to grow. Thank you so, so much. Well, you knew the wedding night was going to be spicy between Ian and Ella. It always is between them. Oh, I sure will. Hold on one moment. I would like to wish Emily happy birthday. May you have a wonderful birthday and a blessed number of 91 years. Happy birthday, my dear. Love you, Mia. Love you, love you, love you. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to be on for just a little bit here. We finished up right when I wanted to. If you have any questions about characters, if you want to know where you can find Blood in the Snow on YouTube, I do have them labeled, so you should be able to find them easily. I would highly suggest, in order for you to fully understand what is going on, probably, you know, take a listen to my lives of Blood in the Snow. That's what I would do, and then you should be ready for next Thursday. There's a lot of exciting things coming, and I really appreciate you just jumping on the train and taking a ride with me. Oh my God, if you could just see Ian in my mind. I think probably all of us have our own picture of what Ian looks like. The Blackstone family is just absolutely just breathtakingly gorgeous. So yeah, please tell her. Yay. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Debs. So, so, so happy. I'm glad that I finally did what I wanted to do. Love you, Nikki. Love you, love you. So, yeah, we are really just getting into this journey. How long was it that I told Blood in the Snow? It was weeks. It was many, many lives. Yes. Yes, Turtle Woman. So Blood in the Snow is the beginning. And it's the beginning of Ella Snow becoming a vampire, meeting Ian Blackstone. It's so good, so good. And I know I wrote it, but I'm still just saying it is so good. I think it is magic. I think that the book is magic, and I have received nothing but the most positive reviews for Blood in the Snow. So I am going to be working to put that into publishing. I know, Roby. I know. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of it. It's my baby. And to be honest with you, when I was writing Blood in the Snow, I am one of these writers that just kind of thinks ahead. Yeah, now I will since I'm out of character. But let me see. Hold on just one moment. Red satin, red jewels. It's almost identical to the one that I wore the other night. That was like the dark jade green. Well, this one is red. And it has the ruching, and it has a little bit of a train, and very comfortable and very fitting for Blood in the Snow. Crimson Queen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. Someone had asked me today if I was going to be wearing the red ball gown. I will wear the red ball gown when it is cooler. If I was in this room with just that massive red ball gown on, I think I would pass out. I think I would. So tomorrow night, thank you, Casper. I've had a lot of people say that, Hobie Love. We shall see what the future holds. Yeah, I mean, I am going to wear it when it gets a little bit cooler. I do too, Delia. I do too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Write me in as a character Delilah. Now don't be a bit shocked. Someone had suggested that I write in Ella's pet. She has a pet owl and her name is Mina. She's a snow owl and she has blue eyes, but not just any color of blue eyes. They are a very unique aquamarine blue. And we found out at the beginning of Crimson Queen that Mina can speak. So what is going on there? Hello, AJ Cav. How are you? Delilah. I don't know. You just never know. If you're not able to get, if there's anyone that wants to get into YouTube and watch Blood in the Snow, all of them are available. So it's not really what I would call chapter form. Oh, it'll be available in the morning, Rebecca. I'll end the YouTube here in just a minute. and in about 5 minutes, and we will. I'll have it ready for you in the morning. Thank you. Thank you, AJ Cav. Hello, Gidget. How are you? And then get ready. I told a little excerpt of Cherry Hill. Don't think it's some country story or something. You ought to know my mind by now. Most welcome. You know what, Lulu? Edgar was sweet, but it is almost impossible to try to do his voice because I'm not a ventriloquist. If I was, then I could probably do something with Edgar. And I'm not going to lose Edgar completely. I've had some really good suggestions that have been given to me that I think I will end up implementing down the road for him because I love him. I started out with Edgar. If you ever go back and watch my old content, in fact, I went back. It was a couple nights ago, and I was going and just searching all my videos, and oh my gosh, we've come so far. I wasn't even doing lives at this time last year. He may be somewhere else. That is exactly right. But Edgar is not out of the picture. I don't see him right now, but maybe I could take some ventriloquism classes. I don't know how people do that. They're so talented to be able to do that. It's crazy. Don't forget, tomorrow night, The Wheel of Fate. Oh, thank you, Hopi Love. That's so sweet. Thank you. Well, you know, we're going to have Vampy merch. We are going to, we've got Blood in the Snow t-shirts with Ian and Ella on there, and we are just constantly looking to upgrade and make it special for all of you. I love you all. You're amazing to me. Your family, and love you all so much. You're welcome, Melanie. You know, it just kind of struck me one night. I'm like, I have to continue the story. I have to continue Crimson Queen. I have to do it. I was like, I can't just stop with them getting married. It has to continue. So it'll be a brand new addition to the book next Thursday night. Did we ever think about that, X? A blanket that says, lock your doors, close the blinds, get your most comfy blanket. I don't know. Did we? Good night, Casper. Good night, my Grims. That would be a really cool blanket. That would be amazing. I'm so glad, Tabitha. You're such a joy. You're just a very bright light in this live, and thank you so much for being here. Everything happens for a reason, and you know, that was the night, you know, when I was with your very special creator, Chris Netzel. Love him. You came along and you're a gift to the night dwellers. I'm so glad, Rhonda. So, so glad. Yes, go to the oldest. Go to the oldest, and then I believe I have them all labeled, not like Blood in the Snow 1, but just like Blood in the Snow. So you'll know like that. I will end up going back in there and relabeling. Good night, Pamela. So lovely to have you here, Grim. You sleep well, okay? That might have to be the next round of merch, right, X? That is a really good idea, Hopi Love. That is a really good one, for sure. Hey, keep those ideas coming. We want you to have what you want, right? Thank you, Angie. She said a blanket with my glowing eyes. Hold on. A blanket with my glowing eyes saying, I am your night queen and you are my night dwellers. You are. Rhonda, thank you for the follow. Hey guys, if you really enjoyed tonight, share it. Let someone know. Say, hey, I know you like scary stories. You would love this live that I'm in. Why don't you come in and hang out with me? Make it like a friend thing. And then y'all can have like a cup of coffee and talk about the stories and everything. Just an idea. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear of your dad's passing, Tabitha. I'm glad it makes you happy. We will keep delivering that to you. Yes, and come on in Discord. If you love this live, you can have this every day. A fun chat on Discord. We post pictures of our dogs, our children, our families, not necessarily in that order. Favorite movies, favorite books. We have a good time over there. So if you haven't joined, please do. Your queen beckons you. Hello, Theodosia. How are you? See, Turtle Mom, that's what I would say. Get a group of your girlfriends together and say, let's go hang out in Twisted Tales Live. She is doing Crimson Queen tonight, or she's doing her new book series, Cherry Hill, or she's doing paranormal, or she's doing true crime. But come hang out. Tomorrow night, The Wheel of Fate, that would be a lot of fun because all those stories are on the board. And yes, I'm going to try to work on the labels to make sure that they show up properly. X. We would love to have her, Angie. Absolutely. You know what? I forget who it was that suggested that story, but it was in Discord. And I looked it up and I started reading it and then did more research on it. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. And it was really good. It was really scary. You're hoping for Appalachian horror? Yeah, because I've got a good one waiting in the wings. I had a good cryptid waiting. I had a good horror movie night waiting. I had a good cryptid, Appalachian horror, all of them, urban legend. So, Storm of the Century. Please put that in Discord so I can see that, because I'm going to tell it. But, I will do that, Hopi Love, just for you. I will. I saw a lot that are waiting in there. That is so funny. Rhonda and Rhonda. Storm of the Century? Yes, that one's good. It's good. I like that one a lot. All right, a few more minutes. We'll end at 10:30. Just, great thing. When you're doing a fiction story and we're all involved in Crimson Queen and Blood in the Snow, and we've all kind of grown with it together, it's something special. Yes, the will does love Stephen King, but oh, have I got a good one. Oh my gosh, I hope I get a chance to tell it. I hope I get a chance to tell them all. Just to, don't forget, we got Will of Fate, and then Sunday night is subscription chat only live. So there's a lot coming up. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, my Grim. Really appreciate that. We're working hard. We're working hard to get everything ready and get it right. Please, please, please. I'm going to make another appeal, and probably will continue doing it till we hit it. On YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can go and get monetized. And so right now we are nearing close to 400. I believe X would have to give me the exact count. But hey, Nana Sherry, you are most welcome, Patricia. But I am at close to 400. I'm supposed to be at 1,000 subscribers within the physical year. I believe that anything can happen, because that is really where I want to expand, is YouTube and TikTok. Those are my two. So if you haven't subscribed, please follow. You can go to the link in my bio, not even have to leave the page, and you can subscribe to YouTube. It's free. I don't know if a lot of people think that it is... Oh, nice, X. Thank you. The threatening is working. Kidding. But I don't know if people think that you have to pay for it, but you don't. It's completely free. So you can go in there, you can subscribe, you can watch the lives of the past lives. You want to watch Blood in the Snow? You want to find out what Blood in the Snow is about? I would suggest going back and reading that. And then you'll be, kind of up to date next Thursday when I start when I do Crimson Queen again. But that's what I have YouTube for right now, is just gathering the group, gathering the Night Dwellers, Hey, that's a great idea. I've been compared to scary ASMR. ASMR. All right, everyone. I go in first thing in the morning and I will unlock everything for you. All right, Turtle Woman, enjoy. All right, everyone, I love you. I will see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. for the Wheel of Fate. Love you all. Love, love, love. Hey, Santa Centennial. How are you doing, darling? All right, everyone. Love you all. See you tomorrow night. Good night, Nikki. Thank you for all the gifting. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you all so, so much. I seek to only bring you the best content. The best. Love you all. See you tomorrow night.
Snarky. I know, you're right. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry. Be a little less snarky. I know, you're right. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry. Be a little less snarky. I know, you're right. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry. Be a little less snarky. I know, you're right. That is a problem that I have. I'm sorry. Be a little less snarky. I know, you're right.